Hi, welcome back. It's Fabricator General Mark Jacobs for Spectre Studios, and today I have the cool new toy in. My fat Yuan Yuan came, and we're going to pop open the box and see what's inside. So this isn't just a regular any old box. We've got lots of different little things on here. The fat Yuan Yuan symbol, and endorsed by Lopan's Noodle Hut. Here we've got the picture of the Yuan Yuan eating his noodles. Some wonderful spiffy color on the back, and the Yuan Yuan coming in for a landing over a keg of beer, pulpy beer. And hopefully he didn't just skunk that beer by landing his pack on top of it. But if there's one keg, I'm sure there's more. Let's see. So let's dig into it. There we go. The Yuan Yuan symbol and the logo for Lopan's Noodle Hut. And inside, we've got the takeout menu from Lopan's, phone number and their address. When on Mars, do as Martians do, and visit Lopan's at the Neon Lotus Orbital. All right. And let's see, there's the English. So there's a quick blurb for the unit on the inside. It's in Spanish, English, French, and German. It's brutal and devastating. We would define the Yuan Yuan pirates and mercenaries in those terms, but there's no Yuan Yuan more devastating than the fat Yuan Yuan. Well, there we go. And then on the back is the takeout menu for Lopan's, and see, it doesn't exactly mention what his favorites are, but I'm pretty certain that we know that pretty much everything is his favorite. Noodles with fish, sea fish, 18 yen, river fish, not exactly fish, but it comes from the water. Not most expensive. 20 yen for that. A barbecue pork omelet. Well, these are it's pretty cool. Banquet for one, 23. Noodles and mini rolls, spicy soup, avocado ice cream. Not really sure what that would be, but here we go. I haven't had. Is avocado ice cream even real now, or is that a super cool future thing? Banquet for 4. So this is probably what he gets for himself. This is for 5 people. Noodles, mini rolls, garlic soup, Mongolian white lamb, pulpy beer, tea or coffee. 5 is whatever. And 6, space reserved for the dessert of the week. Attention, all of our dishes in our restaurant are served without noodles. Yeah, I guess except for the ones that say that they have noodles. Well, anyway, there. So let's set that aside. Here we have the fat Yuan Yuan eating his noodles and the 3 buttons that come with it. Come in the pack. There we are. So the Yuan Yuan symbol with the puffed cheeks and the crossed turkey legs. The Human Sphere's finest craft beer, pulpy beer. And Lopan's Noodle Hut. So pull this out, got our base. His body, and then let's see the rest of his all right, so that's his base. There's a piece of terrain, tactical rock, or crushed empty noodle boxes, it looks like, for propping up your foot. There's the jet engine for his combat drop pack. One arm with box of noodles, takeout. Two heads. Didn't realize that there were two heads, unless this is the head for both figures. But you can see one. I believe that is the happy blissed out face eating the noodles, and this may be the combat face for dropping in over the game. And there's his left arm, complete with, come on now, focus, focus, complete with chopsticks and a collection of noodles that he scooped up out of the box. All right, there's those guys. And now for combat drop, Yuan Yuan. Base, foam. So there's a good, that's a good chunk of metal and a good solid support for the figure hovering up in the air. So that takes care of some of the concerns about flying stands or large minis that have very small contact points for their support. It's going to be very much a good rugged support system. There we go. And another nice thing that they did is you've got this big block of metal here, but when he's put together right, like I had before but not now, there we go. So there's a little shifting in the mold, it's just about there. There we go. Down here, if it will stay together long enough for me to show you, let's see. Down here at his foot, there's another notch in the base there, so that you've got a good solid connection here and another place where the figure will be supported there, so that your figure doesn't snap during use. And now body bits for him jumping down. Alright, so left arm with gun. Seems like that's probably a chain rifle, just by the look of it real quickly. The wings for his pack. Up. And the wings for the other figure. And then sword in the right hand. Alright. So those are all the individual pieces, and this looks like it's going to be pretty cool to get all together. So take a quick swish here and we'll be back for the assembly. Alright, I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so we've got the fat Yuan Yuans laid out and washed them up like I showed in one of the other videos, and have cleaned up all the flash on them, because there's no real reason to drag you through watching me cut off flash. And let's get started on these. So we'll start with the guy landing to pick up his takeout order. So we've got the base. We will start dry fitting stuff. I think what I'll do in this particular case, I don't have to worry too much about basing, because you can see the landing, the figure, the landing part of the figure is really covering up all of the base, so I don't have to worry about any additional basing. But I don't really want to wait for the glue to dry and everything, so I'm going to glue the figure onto the base last in this case. So we'll dry fit the body onto the pack, set the heel into the heel spot there in the smoke. The smoke wreaths up around the heel, and then set the body onto the peg. Alright, so that looks like a good dry fit there, and it actually stays in place good. But before we glue that, we need to put the wings on. So the wings drop right in to that little gap. We'll get a little glue in there first. You can opt to not glue the wings in because the body is going to trap them in against the jetpack. You don't really have to worry about it falling off. Oh, there's definitely plenty there. So we'll spread that glue out with our trusty little toothpick. Spread all that excess out so that it also will glue the body on. And put some down amongst the heel there too. So wings are in. And then heel and body. There we go. Kitty cat. Alright. So that's all set. Now let's glue on the chain rifle hand. Here we go. I've come to really appreciate this Gorilla super glue. It's a little bit thicker, doesn't run everywhere, but it holds really well in situations where other brands of super glue have failed me. Having a little more trouble with it right now because the bottle is nearly empty, so it takes a good while to get some out. So this is going to involve sitting here watching glue dry. So we'll just take a little jump and come back when we're ready to move to the next step. Okay, so we've got the chain rifle hand to stay on, and now it's time to put on the sword. And not really 100% sure what the angle is on that. So here we go. Oh, it's a fairly low angle on the sword. I thought that it was up much higher. So let's see. A little more tricky to do with the jump pack already on. There we go. There we go. That's part of the glory of blind unbox and build, is that now that you've seen it's hard to get the arm on with the jetpack on, when you go to do it, you can put the arm on first. It'll be much easier. So a little bit of glue. And that was also an object lesson in dry fitting. If I'd just thrown glue in there and tried to put the arm on with the sword up high, I would have had no end of problems. Thinking that's how it was supposed to be, then pull it off, blah blah. There we go. And now the head. Get that dry fit in. Personally, I like to save the head till last. That way, when I go to put the head on, I can, it's easier to see if the head is turned in a sensible direction. It really, really bothers me when I have a figure that's all put together, or I put the head on first, and then once the figure is together, it looks like the figure's looking off in the wrong direction, or the pose doesn't make any sense. And the dry fit worked really well, but now that I've got glue on it, it wants to fight, which also seems to be a tradition. There we go. And the fight there. Knock the arm loose. Go, just get a good bond again with the knife. I bumped the jump back too, but it looks like that's alright. So, there he is. The combat dropping Yuan Yuan. So he's got inferior combat jump, which means that he has to roll his physical -3 to land where he wants to go. But given that he's such a brute, I guess his physical -3 is a much better chance than a skinny Yuan Yuan. So maybe he actually has a plan after all. He has a better chance of landing where he wants. Probably where he wants is next to the noodle hut. So let's get some glue on for the base. There we go. And set him aside. Right. Let's move on to the eating Yuan Yuan. He's come down and his takeout orders already. So we've got the base here in the lovely high contrast background, and we've got the little tactical crushed containers. Set it in to the bottom of the base first, get a feel for what we're looking at, how we want to deal with it. It takes up the entire track, so we're going to take out the entire track. Now, I like to use a pin vise for this because it makes getting the knife blade through the base easier. Just a quick drill through there. You can, just with brute force, just drive your X-Acto blade through the thin plastic at the bottom of the trench. But that's really hard on your blade. It'll take the point off of a brand new blade really quick, and the effort that you need to push it through the base increases the likelihood that you might accidentally catch your finger, and driving the knife through your finger with the force that it goes through the base is a good way to change your plans for the day. Distinctly less than pleasant. So you just set the tip of the knife through the drill holes and cut down through the base. One line there, and then just widen it out. And we'll just take a jump here and come back when the base is all set and show you what I'm thinking about doing next. Okay, so now we've got the slot in the base all cut out. Hang on, there we go. And we've got the little crushed takeout box insert. I've had to try fit it multiple times, make sure that it fits in good. Had to trim up the little tab a little bit. But now, let's throw some glue on there. Here we are. And that's in. Okay. So where this is taking up a lot less real estate, you can probably put some more sand or dirt in there, or other city debris, stuff like that, or maybe a textured paint and then paint a pavement over that. But right now, we'll just move on. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is, rather than glue the body directly onto the base now, and while waiting for this to dry, I'm going to be banging it around and stuff and putting these glue bonds under stress. So I'm going to glue it onto the base last, just like I did with the other one. Alright, so let's start again with jetpack and wings. Let's see. Put the glue onto the jump pack. Here we are. Put the wings in, careful to make sure that they're facing up in the right direction. And then set the body onto the jump pack. Press it all in tight. Oh. And then have it slip out when I'm changing hands. Yes, cat, I know. Nobody ever pays any attention to you at all. There. So, this will take a moment to dry. Another quick jump and we'll be back to, well, put on some arms. Okay, looks like the jump pack is set. And let's see. And I think I've probably done the exact same thing wrong. I put the jump pack on before the arms, even though just 5 minutes ago I said it was a better plan to put the arms on first. So let's see. Try fit the arms in here. And as much as I prefer to put the head on last, I think in this particular case for this model, because the arms are coming in front of his face and meeting, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get the head in there with the arms in place. So we're going to take the arms off and we'll dry fit the head. And the sculpting came out so great on this. You can really, just like in the pictures, like in the promo stuff, he is so happy that he's gotten his takeout. All right. Sooner we get his head on, the sooner he can eat. Though with this guy, that might not actually stop him with the big hole that I'm looking at in his neck. May be able to shove it down faster, but I don't think it would taste as good. Here we go. So his head is on. Now we'll go with the noodle box arm first. Actually, be an easier shot to put the glue into the arm instead of on the shoulder. Come on now. Always seems, and I don't know how it works this way, the dry fit will go so well, and then as soon as the glue hits it, it just ends up being a big fight again. And before the glue sets, I want to double check. Here we go. Well, this might even be a figure that you might want to, now that I'm seeing it all together. Because trying to get in to paint his face with the hands in the way, that looks like a challenge. But in for a penny, in for a pound. I've gone too far now. I'll figure out a way to deal with it. And there we go. Sure. It's gotta be. It seemed higher. It seemed like the noodle box was higher than during the dry fit, but so with the square peg on the arm, there's a chance that you can rotate it too far, 90 degrees, and have it glued on not quite right. But there's no way that the arm holding the noodle box could rotate down any lower. So that's got to be the way it was. It just holds the box right up to his mouth while he's eating so that he doesn't lose anything, I guess. If he drops a chopstick and it gets dirty, I guess his face is right there to just get into the box. Alright. Arms all glued on. Working his way into the box. Let's get him glued onto the base. Now, on the base, you can just about see, let's see where I can get it to. Here is a divot that's meant for 1 foot to go, and then over here is another place that looks like a foot is meant to go there, and this place becomes way more obvious once that foot's down. So you put the foot in and then it just sort of falls into place. So what I'm going to do is put the glue in the places where it'll be the most obvious. Here, that landing spot, and then here on this foot. That way I know that the glue will be where the glue needs to be, and I'm not guessing wrong, putting it in the wrong spot on the base. And there we go. Which was a good plan because I would have put the glue in the wrong place. So back to watching glue dry. A quick jump and we'll see the two of them finally finished. Okay, so we've got the figures all finished. Got some primer on them. A little bit of dirt. Apparently he's on a vacant lot where there's a bunch of trash right next to the noodle hut. And here he is, landed, having lunch. And now here's the combat landing, all primed up. chain rifle and sword, jump pack, and the beer keg. There we are. They look really sweet. I can't wait to get them on the table. Run both of them at the same time. Twins running around causing havoc. Great. So thank you very much for checking out the unboxing and the build. And come over and see us at our forum at spectrestudios.us and check out our Patreon page over on patreon.com. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.
Spectre Studios, playing for the spirit of the game.